आपने बताया था कि इस पिक्चर के राइट्स लेने के लिए आपको 4 से 6 साल तक
8 साल
8 साल लग गए
8-9
आपको
साल लगे थे, हाँ।
जी। एंड उसके बाद ये पूरी मूवी 14 साल में बनी। तो इतना वेट करना एक मूवी के लिए आप मतलब
लाल सिंह चड्ढा जो बहुत सिंपल आदमी है, तो मैं यही कहूँगा कि अगर मैंने किसी का दिल दुखाया है किसी चीज़ से, तो मुझे उस बात का दुख है, और मैं किसी का दिल नहीं दुखाना चाहता हूँ। और आई थिंक बाकी अगर लोगों को जिनको फिल्म नहीं देखनी है, तो मैं उस बात की इज्जत करूँगा। क्या कर सकते हैं लेकिन मैं चाहूँगा कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग फिल्म देखें। हमने बड़े मेहनत से फिल्म बनाई है, और सिर्फ मैं नहीं हूँ, फिल्म जो बनती है वो सैकड़ों लोगों के मेहनत से बनती है। तो आई होप पीपल लाइक इट। लेट्स सी।
I watched the original Forrest Gump after I watched Laal Singh Chaddha, the official Indian adaptation of Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump starring Tom Hanks was released in 1994. The Hollywood movie was based on a novel of the same name, Forrest Gump, written by the author Winston Groom. I had never watched the original Forrest Gump, and since Laal Singh Chaddha was released, I decided to first watch the remake and then the original. I think many people did the same as it was trending in the top 10 movies in India on Netflix. After watching Forrest Gump, here's what I found contrasting in both the movies in comparison to each other. Forrest Gump is set in a small town in Alabama, USA. The historical events in Forrest Gump cover the events that happened in the US, while in Laal Singh Chaddha, the setting was, of course, India. The city-state might be either Chandigarh or Amritsar because it shows the Amritsar attack. I noted the historical events on my mobile phone while the movie was running along. Tracking the timeline of a few initial historical events shown, I found that the flow of events is inaccurate. For example, the Amritsar attacks shown are known as Operation Blue Star, which took place in June 1984, but they are shown after the assassination of Indira Gandhi happened in October 1984. Forrest Gump had all the historical events right in a flow, as what I found researching about it a bit on the internet and matching the dots. Laal Singh Chaddha's storyline begins with Aamir Khan narrating his story to an unknown and unrelated lady to him in front of him, sitting on their window seats in a train's coach. At first, she doesn't express any interest, then she continues to be the one hearing his whole story throughout the film. There were other characters in the same coach nearby who shows interest in hearing Lal's story. Except for the ticket collector, everyone hears his story like they have no other priorities, and all of their final destinations were very conveniently coming after Lal's destination. I felt this while watching the movie. Contrary to this, when I watched Forrest Gump, I noticed that the first woman he shares his story with soon leaves him. Forrest shares his story while sitting on a bench waiting for the bus. While other people arrive there and wait for the bus, hearing his story, they show interest but also takes moment to go back to their priorities. For example, as I said, the first woman Forrest narrates his story to leaves the place at a point who says she has to catch the bus and she leaves. While another lady starts talking to Forrest as she also had to say something because of her memory of the event he was narrating about. In Forrest Gump, by the end of the narration sequence, only one woman is there listening to Gump's story, while by the end of the narration sequence is Laal Singh Chaddha. The whole train's coach is hearing his story with all ears and enthusiasm on their faces. I believe this is one of the many and major reasons why Laal Singh Chaddha is heavily criticized only in the terms of filmmaking. Aamir Khan's facial expressions were really over the top and almost felt like he was overdoing it. It's really taking you to the era of the movies in which he has to act like an estranged person with a slow functioning brain, but full of innocence and a bit of optimism too. This was also same with Forrest Gump. Gump is a slow-witted person with innocence. But Tom Hanks' portrayal of the character is a subtle one and doesn't really cater to the stereotypical representation of people with brain disorders or slower functioning brains. It's only in special situations the character of Gump shows different displays of emotions on his face, such as seeing Jenny being hit or showing up in a crowd, meeting Lieutenant Dan after a long time, or shedding tears for his mom and Jenny. In real life also, people need to stop with this stereotype, please. This brings us to the next point that is interrelated with this one. I believe the most underrated performances and least likely talked about performances have been about the child actors in both the original and the remake. Michael Connor Humphreys, who played the young Gump, and Ahmed Ibn Omar, who played the young Lal, both actors played their parts so perfectly, even with more subtlety than their adult versions. Especially in Aamir's case. Ahmed as young Lal didn't make its over-the-top portrayal of a dim-witted personality with uncontrolled facial expressions or body language, but rather with the delivery of dialogues and eyes. While dialogue delivery also has to do with the writers, the eyes obviously have to do with the artist in front of the camera portraying it. So, when we are criticizing the wide-eyed portrayal by Aamir, this kid made the performance so far better as he did exactly what young Gump aka Michael and adult Gump aka Hanks did in Forrest Gump. Rather than playing with the facial expressions or uncontrollable enthusiastic body language, both, even now trio of these people portrayed the character with the delivery of dialogues and eyes. Not reacting to any situation or statement was itself acting because the character originally isn't someone who will give an instant response or reaction to everything. He has a deep understanding of appreciating human life, but not being politically correct or knowing what to say or react spontaneously. You see how Hanks, with merely his eyes, portrays the emotion of anger when someone hits Jenny. I agree though that young Lal was not kept under more complex situations to test his reactions, but it still wouldn't have been someone showing melting optimism from their enthusiasm. This might be a tricky one. The original novel Forrest Gump has the main character suffering from Savant syndrome, a rare mental condition where the patient shows significant mental disabilities or basically a low IQ. Yet he/she has the intellect for a particular set of abilities more than any average human. Their intellect and skills can include tasks such as rapid calculation, map making, and tasks involving sharp memory. In both Forrest Gump and Laal Singh Chaddha, the condition is not addressed. Still, the main character in both movies show the same signs of a special gifted mind. But my point with this is, even when the IQ of the character is low, they still are perceiving the world as any of us would do, by gaining knowledge and having experiences. They won't show almost overflowing emotions reflecting optimism. They will be insightful, genius, and low-key social. The world presented in Laal Singh Chaddha seems far away from a real-life perspective. Like I mentioned about the people in the train coach hearing the whole story of Lal throughout till the end, the portrayal of Aamir for Lal made it too optimistic to consider that Lal is also someone who understands the real world. A proper characterization was needed to communicate to Aamir what is he required to do. For example, in Forrest Gump, when Gump's mum is on her deathbed, seeing her dying, he asks her, "Why are you dying, Mama?" Even when she starts talking about destiny, he again asks her, "What's my destiny, Mama?" This tells us that the main character of Gump, Lal, is someone who has a brain that can function and perceive things around his life. Now, his might be different, a little too innocent but rooted in his character. I wrote both the character and loophole in the same heading as both are related to Laal Singh Chaddha. This is going to be a major spoiler for the movie, so anyone who hasn't watched any of the movies can skip the video to the ending by dragging the video to the timestamp mentioned above. Kareena Kapoor in performing the role of Rupa D'Souza was too good to experience after a long time, seeing Kareena giving her best in a two-dimensional role. Rupa grew up in a violent family environment where his father used to beat his mother a lot, and from that comes parental neglect. Later, the mother is killed by the father over a petty thing and she faces parental absence and trauma throughout her crucial development stage. She goes through really difficult curves but found reconciliation and peace in life before dying. One thing I found weird about Kareena's character while watching Laal Singh Chaddha and couldn't understand until I read an article was she's keen to earn a hell lot of money and we are not told why. I get the reason for Jenny in Forrest Gump about why she was doing what she was doing, but it was only because of this News9Live.com article explained that Rupa was keen to earn money so that she doesn't have to deal with poor, frustrated and violent husbands. It could have been acknowledged by her character like Jenny did. I think this can be only me, but am I really the only one who thinks this? Do let me know in the comments. A more significant loophole I found was with the ending where Rupa dies. In Forrest Gump, Jenny's background tells us that she endured child sexual abuse from her father and growing up in such a hostile environment, she just wants to fly, according to her own words. and get away from all these things. This is pretty well represented as she keeps going on, strolling through different situations and places, and in the end, realizing what an empty and meaningless journey she embarked herself upon, eventually settling down for peace of mind and loving company of the family before she dies. As per the timeline followed in Forrest Gump, it was the 80s when HIV/AIDS was not yet identified by professionals and was yet to be discovered and understood. It was not stated in the movie, but I can guess that's what people understood, and according to research, makers addressed this. We don't get any particular reason for Rupa's death in Laal Singh Chaddha. She dies because of an unknown disease in 2019. She can't even have COVID-19 here because its first case was found in late 2019, that too in China's Wuhan city. The beginning and end of both Forrest Gump and Laal Singh Chaddha have a swirling feather in the air that moves away as airflow changes its speed and direction differently. Sometimes it is being moved by the people or certain catapults that move the feather like a high-speed fan or a sudden wind steam blow. I believe the moving feather is well represented in Laal Singh Chaddha's beginning as the moving feather and its pace matches the song Kahani playing in the background, going in sync with the music and vocals. The movie's purely aesthetics was its camera work and the music. And in music, I will give huge credits to two people here to give such a soothing feeling to the Kahani song. Amitabh Bhattacharya, the lyricist, and Sonu Nigam, the singer. Amitabh Bhattacharya's philosophically beautiful words and soulfully enchanting voice of Sonu Nigam just make this song extra special and hence make the movie extra special, keeping in mind what is it about. The feather in both movies symbolizes the same theme and message. Life is uncertain. You don't know where it will take you. It's a surprise what life holds for you. Either it will take you away somewhere else in a single blow of the wind, or you will be still at the same place for hours with no propulsions at all. What happens that moment is your destiny. My decision to watch Laal Singh Chaddha before Forrest Gump turned out to be a big advantage for me because I didn't feel Laal Singh Chaddha is a bad movie. Like, understandably, many are saying it is bad or criticizing because they have watched the original Forrest Gump and loved it a lot. Everyone's entitled to their opinions and choices, I don't mind. I didn't know the premise of both the movies and still I loved both of them. The ending of both the movies made me cry. Small credits can be given to Aamir Khan here. To be honest, he doesn't deserve the haste he is receiving right now from all the corners. I would not share anything on it because interestingly enough, the same day when I was working on this script, I watched this video by Social. I definitely recommend watching it. Links in the description for that video and sources for mine. So that's all for this time. I hope you liked this video and found it worth your time. If it is, then please consider subscribing as I would really appreciate it if people simply subscribe to whatever they are watching and find it to be good content. Comments down below what you have to share about either Forrest Gump or Laal Singh Chaddha and even both. Share this video with your friends and stay tuned for the next one.